Welcome back, Mr. Hassan's Maths channel. I'm answering question number 15 now from the IGCSE paper from Cambridge from February-March 2022, 0580, and I think it's also the 0980 syllabus, same paper. And this question here is about multiplying these two fractions together, and it says in bold, without using a calculator. So you have to show your working such that the examiner knows you didn't use a calculator. Of course, they cannot see whether you used a calculator or not. You're allowed to take a calculator with you, but your steps will show them whether you have shown sufficient working such that they know you know how to do this without a calculator. Now, if you use a calculator to check your answer, there's absolutely no problem as long as you showed the steps. So the first step for us to take here is to rewrite this so that you have a improper fraction instead of mixed numbers for the first fraction here. So to make 2/3 into an improper fraction, you're going to multiply the whole number by the denominator, so that's 3 times 2, which is 6, and then you add the numerator, so that's 7/3. 2 and 1/3 is like 7/3. It's like 2 wholes and 1/3. 2 wholes would be 6/3 plus 1/3, that's 7/3. That's how you can think about it. 2 as a 2 as a fraction, when we're talking about thirds, is like 6/3, and then you got plus 1/3, that's 2 plus 1/3, which is going to be 7/3. Okay, then you have to multiply that by 11/14. Right, so that's the first step. Now, secondly, what we can do here is if we're multiplying the two fractions, if we have something in the numerator of either fraction which cancels out with the denominator of either fraction, then we can cancel them out before proceeding. That just makes our life a bit easier. So I can see that 7 and 14, 7 and 14, they have a common factor of 7. So I can divide this by 7 and this by 7, and I'll be left with, sorry, this by 7, I'm left with 1, and here I'll be left with 2. Okay, so the common factor of 7 I can cancel out, leaving me with 1 and 2. Now you have 11 and 3 and 2, none of them have common factors, so now I can just multiply the numerators together. So 11 times 1, which is 11, and 3 times 2, which is 6. Now they want us to give our answer as a mixed number in its simplest form. Now they've stated that we must give it as a mixed number. If they didn't state that, then you could leave it as 11/6. Now this is in its simplest form, but it's not a mixed number, so we have to write it as a mixed number. So this is how many times does 6 go into 11? It goes in 1 whole time, remainder 5, so you have 1 and 5/6. Okay, you can think of it like this if you want to, that like how many wholes are in this? Well, the whole, it would be 6/6, and then you're left with 5, so that's going to be plus 5/6, so that's 1 and 5/6. That is your mixed number, and that's how we can show our steps, just by writing this as a improper fraction and then showing that you've multiplied the numerator and the denominator. You can do it straight away. I could do 77 over 3 times 14, okay, but that's more complicated. Then you have to simplify at the end. It's much easier to simplify at the beginning, which we did here. Right, so there's the answer, and again, as I said, the examiner can't see what you're doing, right? So you can use your calculator to check. As long as you've shown these steps, that's fine. In case you want to just check, this is how you would do it. You press 2, you press this button here, you press this button here. Okay, you got 2 and 1/3 multiplied by 11/14, and that gives you 11/6, and you want to show that as an improper fraction, you can even do that. Press shift and that button here, and you got 1 and 5/6. So you can be sure, rest assured, you didn't make any silly mistakes, any copying errors or whatever. There's no problem with using your calculator to check your answer at the end, but showing your steps is essential. If you just wrote the answer down, you will get 0 marks, as it is indicated by this instruction there. So that's question number 15 answered. Other questions from this particular the other thing is, a lot of people think that you have to make the denominators the same. Not when you're multiplying or dividing, no. When you're adding and subtracting, yes, you make the denominators the same. When you're multiplying and dividing, no, you do not make the denominators the same. If you want to, you can, but just going to make your life more complicated. You don't need to make the denominators the same at all for multiplication and division. But addition and subtraction, well, that's something different, and you do. Okay, so other questions from this paper can be found in the playlist over here. Other questions from this topic of basic arithmetic can be found in the playlist over here, and you can subscribe to my channel by clicking on this link. Thank you for watching. See you soon.